did the same thing today that it did yesterday. Is that you, Russ? Something just slammed against the back of my chair. I think it was Rascal. I don't know. I keep having a problem with the audio. And it appears to be OBS, the way OBS is capturing the audio. I looked at all my audio equipment, everything's working fine. So, when I record, I have other recording equipment that's separate from OBS. When I record with that stuff, no problem. When I record with OBS, it kept doing it. I didn't check the video yesterday. It was like 2 days ago, and the day before that video, where the voice audio kept going really high and peaking and making like a high-pitched sound. And I don't know why, because I talk in almost a whisper. I can't get my voice loud. I have a throat issue. I've had it since I was 8, so it's a lifelong thing. I've never been able to. I can't even talk at a normal volume, let alone try to get loud. I temporarily removed a couple of mods, but I haven't tried playing the game since. So I don't know. We have mods on right now that I haven't had on in maybe a year or more. And I know one of them, I used to use it all the time. I can't remember the full name of it. It's AIO is the name of the file, and I can't remember what the name of it is when you actually go on Nexus. It's AIO for NPC is the name of it when I load it. Oh, that's big. The name of it when I load it. Okay, because this game has no bugs, because CD Projekt Red doesn't make game with bugs, let's do this. Because if I try to open the game while it's full screen, and this bugless game decides to crash, it will crash the entire computer because it is a kernel crash. KENNLE. Kernel crash. That's a game engine issue. It's a bug-free game.
The ugliest man alive revealed himself not but elf, and an elven sage at that. Avallac'h, for this was his name, was the elven mage.
The cyberpunk community is divided so bad. You've got these people who are extreme mega fans of CD Projekt Red. CD Projekt Red can't do anything wrong. Then you got people who were that way before Cyberpunk came out, and as I hate CD Projekt Red because of Cyberpunk. Yep, bug-free game. No, that's what no had. Okay. Did our travel companions load in? Where's Siri? Alright, we should be able to tell immediately if that mod was causing the problem, because the bug is affecting Siri. So, that AIO for NPCs, if that was the problem, Siri should have her clothes on again.
It's time.
I'm gonna guess she spawned in on the other side. What are you doing? slammed into the back of the chair again. Is it Rascal? I think it's got to be Rascal. He's got the cat tree is right behind the chair, which you can see it right there. That's the top shelf of it. It's got 3 shelves on it. And it's got like a thing that goes off to the side on the bottom, and then another one that goes off to the side, and another one. It's like it's like a box with a circle thing in it, like a cave tunnel thing, and then it's got a shelf, and then another shelf, and then off to the side it's got another box with a shelf, and then a tunnel thing over there, and then another tunnel thing that comes around the other side, then a cat tree thing that's not as tall on the other side. So it's like over there, and then it swings around, and the other side of it's right behind the chair here. So I think he takes all of his toys, he chases all of his toys all over the place. There's a long hall right here. It's like, there's nothing you can do with it. It's just this long, skinny hall. It's like 2 feet wide. He runs back and forth down that hall, chasing the toys. It's like 2 feet wide, but then it's like 9 feet long. And when he gets done, he picks up his toys, carries them over with his mouth, and he shoves them all in the bottom shelf over there, keeps them all in there, and then he goes in the bottom and goes to sleep. However, because that whole setup is so close to this chair, he comes running. He'll be in the hall on the other end, and he'll like crouch down for one of his toys, and he'll run at the toy, and he'll go to leap at the toy, and sometimes instead of grabbing the toy and playing with it, he leaps over the toy and then keeps running and runs up the back of the chair, and he hangs there with all 4 paws hanging out. Looks like a spider hanging on the back of the chair, and this blanket hangs over the back, so it makes like a cape flap behind the chair. So when he runs up to hug the chair, he runs up and clings to the chair, he goes underneath the blanket and he'll hang there. And if he happens to be hanging there and you walk by, he'll leap out at you and wrap around your leg and start kicking your leg. He goes crazy when he gets his toys. He's a senior cat. He's 14 years old. He acts like a little kitten. Oh yeah, we got all our extra dogs. I forgot. Our regular dog has a new look, and we got 2 extra dogs. And we get 2 panthers. Okay, let's check and see. No, we do have 3 panthers. Okay. Oh. There's Siri. And that mod doesn't fix the issue with Siri because, as you can see, Siri's skirt is still missing.
I'm gone.
Okay, so that mod isn't the one causing the issue with Siri. It still could be the one causing the issue with the other characters. I still think it's a conflict with the HG graphics, 12th edition, and something else. I think, because it started happening when we put that mod on. I didn't have the 11th edition. Can't remember why I didn't upgrade to the 11th edition.
Wine's more expensive. Whores are more expensive.
I had the 10th edition, and we upgraded to the 11th edition, and then I rolled it back to the 10th edition. I can't remember why. There was a bug in the 11th edition that it was conflicting with one of the mods I was using.
Wine's more expensive. Whores are more expensive.
Upset.
You appear to be a monk. A friar. You look like a friar. Complaining about whores.
Could use a pint of lager.
Are we missing any travel companions? Oh, I don't know. Do we fix... Did I fix it? I don't think I did. I can't remember. It was a couple of weeks ago that I was going to work on it, and I started to work on it, and I can't remember if I fixed it. So, is it gameplay, community?
We were discussing questions of a magic nature, nothing of great interest to you.
I did fix it. Okay. So we can have you as a travel companion again. Yeah, this mod crashed, so we didn't have Avallac'h with us for a while. She wore green in the novels. I don't know why they had her wearing pink in the game, because she wore green in the novels. There's the green one. I like this green one. That's what I was just talking about. I was just getting ready to say, I made a green one for her. It said she wore pistachio green, and that was my translation of making her clothes pistachio green there. But yeah, that mod was crashing the other day, so we didn't have all our girls with us. Wait a minute. That means,
you know?
right? No, wrong button. Okay. It triggered him to use a dialogue talking about her. That's funny that they do that. Okay, where are the girls? Where are the girls? Do we have them in here? Well, many clothes I made her something else. Oh, there's that pink one. I like that pink one as well.
I'd even call it a secret.
They're not in here, are they? Oh, no, they are. There they are. Is this the one with just the brown, or are the pink ones in here as well? Wait, did I see a T-pose in there? Hi, Rask! Oh, that's one of the green ones. That's right, I was gonna make a whole set with them green. I didn't finish that, did I? These ones that are red, their clothes aren't finished yet. Those are the ones I was gonna make them with green
clothes. Easy to execute.
I forgot I was doing that. I got back and finished it. I'm still working on the mod, obviously, because there's the pink ones. And this one's green but not finished. That one's kind of greeny-ish, but not really. Okay, you're affected by that bug. Interesting. If I can figure out what file, what mesh file, it's obvious affected in a mesh file. So if I can figure out what mesh file it is,
looking for lost little
I can
girls.
fix it. I like that dress too. Let's go back to the brown ones because I like the brown ones quite a lot.
Know him?
I like
I
that
reared him.
one. Oh, that's going to talk about Corinthia. Alright, that's 2. There's one scene where he only has 3 of them with him. Usually had 5 of them. Three. I don't remember that one. Four. That's almost identical to what Siri's wearing right now, isn't it? Five all wearing different hats and different clothes, right? That's what I was trying to do. I was trying to get them not all be the same because some of them are wearing the same clothes.
Know him? I reared him.
You just said that. Okay. Yeah, Avallac'h wore green and the others wore gold. That was the reason I colored them this way. Why I made hers green and the other one's a light brown bronze color. Because that's the way they were described in the novels. But then I started making other clothes because
The elder blood can be fiery.
people don't wear the exact same thing all the time, over and over again. Okay. I was telling you to get on your horse, not attack your horse.
Whores are more expensive.
I can't remember. How do we get there? Where are we? That Novigrad's over there. That Yantra's over there. The 3 little gnome dwarf guys are over there. So we. Our horse is still refusing to gallop. See, it starts to gallop. Okay, wait. It starts to gallop and it stops. Why is it doing that? We got a long ways to go if the horse doesn't want to gallop, which I'm fine doing that. We can do that. Don't know why it's doing it though. It's one of those things where it doesn't bother me so much that it's doing it. It bothers me that I don't know why it's doing it. There we go. I was wondering if it's my keyboard. Like maybe the buttons are getting stuck and not working properly. You see, it's doing this weird, like, trot. You don't have a merchant here. Do you have a merchant here? There's no merchant here, right? New marker? Well, we haven't been here in this. Save file, I guess. Okay. Don't see anybody standing around glitched out there. Okay, we're not interested. Oh, I see a little. Wait. Tinfoil hat chickens. We need. Our horse just glitched out fine, but look at all the tinfoil hat chickens. Okay. We saw our tinfoil hat chickens. Now we're.
Ah.
Martin Fuller, okay. We want to go past Martin Fuller, right? Wait, isn't there usually a merchant over here? Oh. Stop. We got ourselves stuck. That's what we're doing. Now, there's usually a merchant somewhere in this area. It's a traveling merchant, so he could be in various locations. He's not always in the same spot. Here in one of those things. Could be back there more. If he is, we've missed him. If not, we'll come upon him in a minute. Nope, we didn't miss him. There he is, right ahead of us. I have no clue if we have anything to sell him or not. Are there wolves attacking us? Wait a minute.
Farewell. Elder blood
Wild boar out.
to open the gate.
Yeah, okay. Attacking? You have to attack if you don't. There you go. That's better. Oh, look at the sunset. We shouldn't be looking at the sunset when we've got something attacking us. It was our dogs we heard growling at it then, right? We'll just let them fight it. Can we come back and talk to you? Probably can't while combat music's going. Yeah, we can. Now we're covered with blood. Whatever.
Wouldn't mind a look at your stock.
Back to what we was doing. You don't have anything we need. We'll sell you all this stuff up. Wait a minute. What you paying for that? Not paying much for it. Sell it to somebody who wants to pay more for forward. Oh, we're carrying meat? I did not know. Alright. We are done selling you stuff.
Farewell.
Look at the sunset we got here. Are we being attacked by something again? We seem to have most of our travel companions not with us.
From legends.
Meaning they're
Elven
off
ones.
fighting
It
something
lies where the Whitefleet landed
somewhere.
centuries ago.
Combat music is still playing. Are you up there fighting something? I'm just gonna pick flowers while they do whatever they're doing. Combat music stopped. This area has a lot of wild boars. I forgot about that. Also, random encounters is not on. So we don't have any, that's why there's no monsters attacking us constantly like normally you would see. I'm gonna upgrade to the newer, the random encounters reworked or whatever it's called there. I just haven't put it on yet.
Wait, she needs time. We must let her resolve her grief on her own.
As off these rocks or anything. I saw these rocks over here, but I think they're just random rocks standing here. Sometimes when you see a group of rocks, there'll be like a treasure box in the middle of them hiding or something. That's why we came over here. But these appear to be just a group of rocks and not hiding anything. Ah, there's the dead wild boar. Wild boars always spawn in 3, sometimes 5. So, we should have 3 wild boars to loot. Anyways, I was gonna upgrade. I had made. Okay, there's 2. There should be one more because they're coded to spawning in 3s, except for there's a couple of places where they're coded to spawning in 5, and I don't think this is one of those areas. So there should only be 3 here. They're coded different in the random encounters mod, so you could end up with more attacking you with the random encounters mod. That's why I was just saying, I don't have it on right now, so this attack is a vanilla. Ah, there's the other one, they didn't kill it yet. You know what, is this the area that has 5? Because it looks like it is.
What of it?
The area that has 5 is near a river, and there's like a little building in it. And I thought we were further away from it than that, but it does look like this area. Yeah, it's because there's a quest. One of them's a lot bigger than the others. There's a little pond here. I'm gonna stand in this pond while you guys fight the wild boar. Also, Turn Gwen back on because you're gonna die if you don't have it on. I suppose we should attack. I forget we have different burdens on right now. Is that going to do that thing that glitched us out the other day? For some reason they couldn't kill it. And they were all stuck on top of it. Is there another one over there? We left our horse behind.
No, Cyril. You are not ready. You do not control your powers.
Where did I see that? I saw what looked like a loot glow somewhere over here, and I can't see it anymore. We were like on a hill more back there, and we could see it, and now I can't see it. Oh, we have Blood Moon. Blood Moon's a horse one though, right? Ain't it? Ain't Blood Moon a horse one? It is. Ooh, they've changed stuff with Blood Moon. That's different. What'd you just do? Why do you fall back like that? I don't know what that one did. I forgot these have on and off buttons now. I have to get used to the new versions. Are you invisible? What did you do? You went invisible. Yeah. Oh, okay. I see what he's doing. I get it. Wow, this is weird. It's like a portal. That's new. No, not Siri. That's new, though. That's.
Can you hear me?
I know they made a whole bunch of changes to the mod, and.
Come on. Don't just stand there. I want a hug.
They've been releasing bug fixes and patches and stuff for the last couple of months, almost on a daily basis. So that's why I didn't install it yet. I was waiting for them to get
Alright.
done and have it
Let's talk later.
stable before I put it in the game. Hi, Rask. You here? You all done doing whatever it was you were doing out there? Mm-hmm. You gonna tag in?
Know him?
I'm waiting for you to
I
tag
really
in
am.
so I can put my stuff in the right place. Here, wait a minute. You look your foot around. There you go. You gonna tag in? And sing? Okay. Get you tucked in. And I'm gonna put the keyboard down. What was we doing? Oh, we were being interrupted.
Tyrell said the same thing.
We have a
Watch your
weird... We're flying. We can fly. Okay, that's what it's doing. It turned us into a... Hey! We'll just fly, I guess, to where we're going. Alright. Lower mill. Look at that, we can bypass everything. We can fly
Elven ones.
everywhere we're going.
It lies where the White Fleet landed centuries ago.
Von Everett Estate. Yeah, they took out some of the spells aren't in it anymore because they were bugging out. There were some that were bugging out really bad. And they replaced them with others. Brunwich! We're flying over Brunwich. Well, we may have a new thing to do in addition to swimming. We can fly now. What happens if we just die? That's what I want to say.
Come on, look, Mrs. Agar and I will open the door.
Okay, don't deactivate it while we're many hundreds of feet up in the air. Oh, poor Avallac'h. We find so many ways to kill him. Did we break the game? Well, new reasons to like Blood Moon. Blood Moon's the one we liked most before. It's the one I used all the time. It saved right when we did that, didn't it? Okay. Load game somewhere else.
This is the place.
Oh, poor Avallac'h. Load saved game. Okay, go back here.
The curse that held Uma proved hard to lift, but Yennefer and the Witchers managed to do it. The ugliest man alive revealed himself to be not man, but elf, and an elven
Are you
sage.
poking your dog?
Avallac'h, for this was his name, was
What are
the
you
elven
doing?
mage who had helped Ciri flee the hunt, then hidden her
Rascal's
away
poking
in the
Mercy.
Isle of Mists.
Okay. Let's put your head back on. First start our business. Give you a head again.
You don't really expect me to
All these bugs and stuff, you know, this game doesn't have. Gets most people so mad when you see bugs in games. Like, I mean, all these people who are suing CD Projekt Red right now over bugs in Cyberpunk. I don't know. I think it's rather hysterical. Wait. This is the place. Because
Where are you
here's the little, that's what I said. There was like a little brook, a river thing. And then there was a house. This is that place. Yeah, so there's a letter here that you can find, and it talks about the wild boars. It's the place that introduces wild boars. If you're playing the game the way when the quests unlock and tell you, hey, let's do this one next. If you do the game the way the game instructs you to play it, when you end up here, that's the first time you're gonna see the wild boars. So it should unlock the wild boar bestiary entry here. this plant look like it's glowing? Weird.
I'm still a long way from mastering anything,
Oh,
but I am trying. Anyway,
first time I've ever seen that
I do
bug.
learn from the best.
That's a known bug. I've never seen it before. I recognize it. I've seen pictures of it where people will post a picture and they're like, what is this bug? I've got this weird bug in my game. I'd never seen it before. We've never had it happen before. It's possible we've had it happen before and I just never saw it before.
But I can't very well tie her up and teleport her away, can I?
Everybody that reported it happening in Brunwich, though, right? Have we just never been to Brunwich at night? Is that possible? Would all the times we come visit the Runewright? Silver Naginata! We found it! Yeah, that's the letter. The letter we just got talks about the wild boars. That's the letter that bestiary entry added. Yeah, that's the letter that'll add the bestiary entry for wild boars. So this is where we would find it. You need a drink. You drink while we're in a house. Might as well. Also, you're hungry. Eat something. Again, while we're in a house. Ciri's clothes came back! Did her clothes come back when the game reloaded? And I didn't even notice? That thing where her clothes keep disappearing like that, so she's walking around in her underwear. When Avallac'h hugs Ciri and Ciri responds,
Zirel. Can you
you
hear me?
hear.
Where are my clothes?
That's why I put that line there. Because it happened so often
Don't just stand there.
that her clothes would
I
just
want a
disappear.
hug.
And she had a line where she has that. I was like, let's put this here.
Come, we must go.
All right, we'll talk later.
Well, she's got her clothes back all of a sudden. Alright, he's still hungry. It's good enough. Now, let's, he can't reactivate it now. Did we bug it out before? Or have we bugged it out now?
Come. Don't just stand
No,
there.
there it goes.
I want a hug.
Okay, let's fly our way to Brunwich again. See if we can stay alive this time. I don't know if we went the right way. But I like this way of travel, so we'll fly around like this for a
Music.
while.
Zirel said the same thing.
Whispering Grange. Okay, I
Much
think that
higher.
means we're going kind of the wrong way. Is that Novigrad we can see over there? Look at those lights. Which means we kind of want to go that way.
Ciri.
No, not Ciri.
Ciri.
Fly. We discovered we can fly.
Where are my clothes?
Okay, look, Ciri.
Come. Don't just stand there. I want a hug.
So maybe it was that mod? And we just had to reload Siri? I don't know.
Come, you must go.
All right. We'll talk later.
Right, stay away from Siri. Which way's Novigrad? Novigrad's that way. I think we want to go this way. So. Whispering Grange.
But I won't allow it. Far too great a risk.
Latin Fuelers Farm again.
Not here. Not now.
We could just fly all over the map and unlock everything, couldn't we? Okay, there's the... that's Lower Mill, right? And we want Upper Mill. Yes, that's Lower Mill, and we want Upper Mill. Abandoned site. If we drop into the water, do we not die? Okay. We can drop out of the sky and land in the water and live through it. We'll pick loot while they fight whatever it is they're fighting back there, which I think it's Neckers. Wasn't it Neckers at that one? Neckers, yes, yeah. Turn ground.
We were discussing questions of a magic nature, nothing of great interest to you.
New marker monster nest. You back over there, Rask?
Find Cyril. Time is dwindling.
I see neither the monster nest nor the monsters. But the monster nest marker went off. Ain't there 3 monster nests here? Right one beside the other. Is that the monster nest there? Yes, that's the monster nest there. Okay. I don't destroy the monster nests. I did to get the achievement in my first playthrough, but there's an achievement if you destroy all of them.
What would it have changed?
But if you don't destroy the monster, you get a whole bunch of items from destroying a monster nest, but if you don't destroy the monster nest, the monsters keep spawning back every few days. Like 3 days later you come back, they'll be there again. Is that loot over there? So, because I'm doing it open world, and we need to do a lot of farming for items, because we're using items. Ah, there's more over there that you're fighting. Yeah, see, they keep respawning in. That's what I was just saying.
You'd not hit a woman, would you?
Oh, there's loot all the way over there, too. But yeah, they keep respawning in. If you don't destroy the nest, they just keep spawning back. So you end up, if you're doing open world, it's best to not destroy the monster nest because you get a lot of loot you are going to end up needing. You know, because we flew over here like a bat. That was, that's that when you're fighting it. Is it Duntine? Is that Duntine Castle? Is that when that happens? When you're fighting with, you know, when Regis is helping you fight. And he zips into the battle and it just shows up. That's that animation. It puts it into player characters so that you can do it. So we're flying around like a vampire bat. What did I see? Yes, I did. I see 3 loot over here. We're still on our way to Karamar, and it's been, what, 5 videos now? Is this the 5th video? We started out at Karamar, but then we did this from, this save file is from the Regis playthrough, which I think I did in 2017? It's a really old save file. I have all my save files for all my playthroughs, so we can go back to any quest and redo any of them from any playthrough that I've ever done. I have every playthrough save file. Oh, there's a bunch of them. Look at them all over there. I can see all the loot sparkles. I have every save file, and I have this set to save every 3 minutes. So I have thousands of save files. I have a massive folder of many thousands of save files for this game, and so I am able to pull up any place where we were at any point of any game, any playthrough. And since the current playthrough I'm doing, we haven't yet unlocked Karamar, and I wanted to go to Karamar. I decided, well, let's go grab a Karamar save file from one of the other playthroughs. And because there's so many thousands of them, I just held the scroll bar down and let it zoom, and it was going by really fast. And it was just going by, and I just kept going until I saw a quest where I knew Brothers in Arms, how do you say it? Brothers in Arms Velen. I was like, Karamor's unlocked when you have that quest. So I stopped it there and clicked on that save file. And I didn't know which playthrough it was. And so I opened it and we started playing. That was like 4 or 5 videos ago. I opened it and we started playing in Karamar. I was like, yes, we're in Karamar, and we're right at the end of Avallac'h, which is when they had just turned Uma back into Avallac'h. So that's the last thing that happened quest-wise in the main story of this save file. So Karamar's unlocked. And so we started going around. I just wanted to explore Karamar and loot Karamar and get screenshots riding our horse in Karamar and stuff. And because we have survival skills, he gets hungry and thirsty and he needs to eat and drink. And I didn't realize what playthrough I had grabbed the save file from. I didn't pay attention to it. I just... Because it when you load it, it loads in what your current things are. So it loads in Avallac'h. It didn't load in Regis. It loaded in Avallac'h, and it loaded in the travel companions we got and stuff. Because these are the things that I've currently got in the game. So it loaded them in with that save file. And he started starving to death, and it's like, okay, let's look in our inventory and see. We need some food. He's gonna die if we don't give him some food. And then we opened up the inventory. All we had was alcohol. I was like, oh, I know what playthrough this is. This is the Regis playthrough. Oh no. Bad save file. We should have, like, looked for one of the Geralt playthroughs, or the first Avallac'h playthrough, or the Gels playthrough. Any one of them would have had food in the inventory. No, we picked it. It was the Regis playthrough, and I didn't realize that I grabbed the save file from the Regis playthrough. He's a drunk, and he's majorly drunk. Big time. All he does is drink. He's morbidly depressed. He's probably the character who is the most depressed of any character in the Witcher series. He's just extremely morbidly depressed, and he just drinks steadily, constantly, non-stop. He is always drunk, 24 hours a day. Well, you know me, when I'm playing characters in a video game, I play them in character to their character. Which is why you see when we play as Avallac'h, he's a vegetarian, and he doesn't drink alcohol. So we get rid of the alcohol and meat, because it goes against his character for him to have that stuff. Well, with the Regis playthrough, we played Regis in character, and we just kept lots of alcohol in our
They
inventory.
approach.
To the point that we didn't have enough food or water to survive with survival skills. So that's why we're not in Camoran right now, because we needed to leave. There's no merchants in Camoran or anything, and when you loot Camoran, the witches are all drunks. So when you loot Camoran, there's no food. There'll be some chicken once in a while, mutton once in a while, but mostly alcohol. So we ended up looting Camoran, the castle. Got tons more alcohol, tons more meat. Avallac'h can't eat or drink any of it. He's starving to death. He's gonna die of thirst. So we left Camoran. Also, we didn't have the saddles. We needed the saddles, so I wanted to get screenshots with the horse. So we needed to go to White Orchard to get the saddles, because they're saddles from a mod. So Brahms was selling them, so we had to go to Brahm in White Orchard. And I was going to, for some reason, my brain, I was like, there's an innkeeper there, we'll get food while we're there. The innkeeper leaves after you leave Velen. She ain't there anymore. And I know that. And I don't know why, for some reason, my brain just forgot. So I was like, we'll just grab some food from the innkeeper and go right back to Camoran. And then we get there and I'm like, oh no, wait. She's not here. If we got Camoran unlocked, obviously she's not here. Why did I think we could do that? I don't know. My brain just went blank there for a minute, and it just,
Took you a
all of a
while.
sudden,
Did you run into
I
trouble?
was like, oh, okay. So we got our saddles, and then we checked all the other merchants, and nobody was selling food. And there's enough places in White Orchard where you can loot food that we ended up with enough food for a few wandering around a little bit in order to find more food. Thought I saw... thought I saw a lit sparkle over here. Now I get over here. I don't see it. Did it disappear? They will disappear if you take too long getting to them. I thought it was right here, and I know I'm getting here, and I don't see it. So either it disappeared, or I saw something that was not it. But then we ended up in Novigrad because I was like, you know what, the merchants that sell food are all in Novigrad. And we've been playing the second Avallac'h playthrough for close to 3 years now. And we have so much money from looting so many things. We have 140 million crowns. Well, I didn't check the save file that we opened up. Yeah, the Regis save file that we opened up for Karamorn. I didn't check how much money we had. I didn't even think of it. We went to Novigrad, and this is the last 4 or 5 videos. If you haven't seen them, if you already watched them, you already know what we did. But if you haven't seen them, this is what we did the last 4 or 5 videos. How we got to where we are now. We're supposed to be in Karamorn. Obviously, we're not in Karamorn. And so we get to Novigrad, and I'm like, we're just gonna go buy from some merchants. And we get to merchants, and I go to buy stuff, and all of a sudden we buy a couple of things, and then it comes up and a lot of money. And I'm like, wait, how are we a lot of money? Oh yes, yes. Isn't the second Avallac'h playthrough? I forgot. We opened an old save file. We only had 300 coins. So then we had to start going around looting stuff so that we could get enough items to sell to other merchants to get enough money so we could then go back to the tavern merchants and buy food. And then I decided I was remerging mods because we had a major mod crash at the start of doing all this. Just before. We had a major mod crash just before we went to Karamorn. So I had to remerge all the mods.
I must climb onto the roof.
It was the mod that crashed and caused everything else to break was the weather mod. It's a really old mod. It was made for like 1.15 edition of the game. I can't remember, Weather's Enhanced or something like that. But it crashed and I couldn't get it to come back up. It refused to work again. So then I had to remerge all the mods, and then we've had a lot of mods that weren't working properly for a while, and I don't use them very often, so I was taking them off, and then we had Babagazi.
An Amarok?
Babagazi. There they are. All our little bunny rabbits. They're supposed to be orange and have long, sharp teeth and help Avallac'h throw feces at Carol. Because Avallac'h throws feces at people in the novels. With the help of his Babagazis. Avallac'h is quite insane in the novels. Why did you attack that bush instead of picking it? Weird. So we started looting anyways, so that we could get money from selling all these items that we looted, so that we could buy food, so that we wouldn't starve to death.
Disappear in the crowd.
And then I'm remerging mods because we had a mod crash in the middle of doing all of this. The mod crash happened just before we went to Karamorn. And so I decided, you know what, while I'm remerging mods anyways, let's take off the old spell tomes that we've been using for a long time, the 2nd edition one, and put the 3rd edition one on because they've stopped putting updates out for it on a daily basis. They appear to have stabilized it and its function. Most people who are using it are saying, yeah, it's working now. It does no more. We ain't got any more bugs and stuff. So I'm like, it looks like they've updated it enough and got enough patches and stuff done that it seems to be stabilized. Let's put it on the game. I knew when they released it, they were having a lot of issues the first couple of days, and I'm like, if they're having that many issues, I'm not going to put it on immediately, which was frustrating because I wanted to put it on immediately. But I was like, you know what, we're going to wait. I know that's a really difficult mod to merge. It's more merge friendly now than it used to be, but it's still a mod that ain't gonna merge easily when you got as many mods as I'm using.
She's not safe. The hunt.
Did we get all the loot now? Are there more loot sparkles? I think we got them all.
Where are my clothes?
And that's the windmill we want there, right? Is it? Is that the windmill we want, or is that... There's two windmills, I can't remember which one is which from the direction we're standing right now. Might as well walk up to this one. There'll be loot there even if it's the wrong one. Thinking it is the wrong one because I think...
As if it could ever be about anything else.
Yeah, we're at lower mill, right? Not upper mill? Yes, okay. The little pop-up just answered my question. We are at lower mill. Alright. We'll loot this area and then head down to upper mill. That brings us to why we're now at upper mill, though. Because now that we've got the new version of that mod on, it deleted the fact that, oh, we had all of these books. Each book comes with new spells, and the way the mod is, you open up the book, and when you collect a book, when you find the book, you open up the book, and then all these spells are in it, and you read the book, and now you learn these spells, now you can use them. So we have to find all of the books before we can activate the spells from the mod. And so right now
You don't really expect me to confess my feelings to you.
Yes, we do. We've got enough food now that we can go back to Kermar. But now we're looking for these books here. Like Blood Moon. So that we can get all our spells back and do all our spell things. Which we don't need for Camoran or this save file. However, I just like having those books. And we're going to have to do this all over again when we go back to the second Avallac'h playthrough save file, which we're going to do. We haven't stopped playing the second Avallac'h playthrough. I just wanted to go to Karamar, and we're taking a break from the second Avallac'h playthrough to go to Karamar. So, in a week or so, we'll be back in the second Avallac'h playthrough as usual. And then, we'll have to look for these books all over again in that playthrough. That's why I always tell people, and I've put it, right above my head in that bar, that black bar that's right above my webcam. I've had so many people ask while I'm playing the game. It's all over my profile, and I put it all over my profile so that you would know, and the first thing you see when you open my profile is warnings telling you I am not playing the game. This is a mod making channel. I experiment with mods. I make my own mods. I use mods other people are making. I take their mods apart and figure out how did they make them, and then I use that knowledge to go make other mods. And you see me doing all kinds of stuff with mods. I haven't, it's been years since I just sat down and played this game to play the story. Because, 12th playthrough. I know the story for this game inside out. I don't need to play the game for the story anymore. And it's one of those games where I just like wandering around in the world. So I don't need to play the quests or the story to have fun with this game. I like what I'm doing. This just wandering around at random looting stuff. Stress therapy, I don't know what else you would call it. I think that's kind of what it is.
Avallac'h says
If you know anything about my offline life, you know that it is very hectic and very stressful and constant, steady. We've had years of police and FBI investigation going on because of multiple murders in my family. So my life is stressed out on extreme levels, and it just... I need to de-stress, and doing what I'm doing here, this wandering around, looting and picking flowers in this game and doing nothing else but looting every house and picking every flower and swimming and riding a horse and hiking, is a lot of stress relief, which I desperately need. And that's why it's... because people won't stop asking, when are you going to do quests? When are you going to do this? When are you going to do that? I haven't done quests in 3 years. And that's why I put that notice there on the new one. Because, stupid people annoy me a lot. If you're too stupid to read the warning that's the first thing you see on my profile that says I'm not doing quests, I kind of got the impression I don't need to answer you because, hey, I'm sick of answering people who are too stupid to read. So that's why it now says what it does there. Are you going to be extra bright if we light you up too? Uh-huh. Okay. And you're different colors than the other ones where you're like extremely white. Shouldn't you be more yellow?
Is that sufficient? Does it satisfy your curiosity? Ready now?
That's a deleted dialogue. He doesn't say that in the game. He had a lot of dialogue that was not in the finished game, but it's still in the files so you can access it and put it in him, so he says it while he's wandering around like he does now, and this bothers me. It bothers me so much that there are, I think, 7 panels in my profile where I talk about it a lot. But here it is. In this one, in the smaller houses like this, you have men have their bed and women have their bed. In some of the bigger houses,
After all, that is what lighthouses
all the men will be in one room and all the women will be in a different room. There'll be like 2 rooms with multiple beds. You'll see all the women in one and all the men in the other. And the smaller houses like this, man in one bed, woman in the other bed. I didn't notice it at first. I saw it, when I played the game, and I kind of noticed it, but I didn't think about it.
This way.
I didn't think about it until I read the novels. Avallac'h has 5 wives. Do you know why he is a villain? What the novels gives you as a reason why he is a villain? Ciri is talking to King Oberon.
You don't really expect me to confess my feelings to you, do you?
And King Oberon hates Avallac'h a lot. So every time Ciri's talking to King Oberon, Ciri will mention Avallac'h because Ciri and Avallac'h are best friends. Avallac'h is Ciri's best friend. So she's always talking about Avallac'h. And she's talking to Oberon one day. And Oberon hates Avallac'h and he's sick of listening to Ciri talk about Avallac'h. And so he just starts going off on this rant. And he's got a list. He pulls out a list. All the reasons why I hate Avallac'h. And he's reading this thing to Ciri. He's got a list of reasons why he hates Avallac'h.
We shall all dream them.
One
Make
of
certain
his
there are no
reasons.
misunderstandings.
The reason he is actually called Avallac'h. Avallac'h means fox. And in the Elven language, the word Avallac'h is the equivalent of a white person calling a black person a nigger. Elves don't call somebody Avallac'h. It's a really bad thing for an elf to be called Avallac'h. That's why I said when the game comes on it says Avallac'h was his name. Avallac'h was not his name. Avallac'h was a horrible hate term that was used against elves. You didn't use this. This was a really bad thing to call an elf. So it was not his name. This was something people called him because people really hated him. And Ciri didn't know why. And Avallac'h eventually, because so many people, his name is Crivan. Crivan is Spain up Kuraman Maka is his real name. And so many people kept calling him Avallac'h that he changed his name to Avallac'h to spite them. He got sick of people harassing him and calling him that, so he changed his name to Avallac'h just to be spiteful at the people who were harassing him. But Ciri didn't know why. And there's a point where King Oberon tells her why we call him this. Avallac'h has 5 wives. He's a polygamist, which is not uncommon in elf culture. Most of the elves were polygamists. I mean, when you have 1,000 female elves and only 15 male elves, it becomes a point where, yeah, there'd be a lot of polygamists happening because there aren't many men left. Also, the NL elves, there are only 15 males left. It tells us that in the novel still. So, who the hell knows why the Battle of Kaer Morhen spawns in 700 of them? If you try to fight all of them, the game is coded to spawn in 735 elves. So that you will keep fighting them over and over and over and over again if you try to just stand there and fight them all, which you can do. I mean, you've seen us do it. I've done it. But the game is coded to spawn in 735 male NL elf warriors. And there were only 15 male elves left. They were in danger of extinction, and there were around 1,000 females left. So polygamy was really common. They all had a lot of wives. However, men had their own bedrooms. Women had their own bedrooms. They did not sleep in the same room. Avallac'h is listed as the most evil of the elves. In the novels, he is the most evil elf there is, because not only did he let his wives sleep in the same room with him at night, they slept in the same bed with him. That's why people called him Avallac'h, and that is why he is a villain. And it's not something that it's like, this is just a thing in elf culture in the Witcher series. No. You look at the entire Witcher series and everything else by the same author, this is a common thing. To the point that it's also in the game. If you've read the Witcher novels, you know that they are predominantly a manifesto rant written by the author, so he can just be social justice warrior about, I hate this, and 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 I hate this.
Not just about something
I
like
hate
that.
females are all evil. I hate blacks are all evil. I hate gays are all evil. That's the whole message of the Witcher series, and that's why a lot of people hate the novels. There's a story in there, but it's hidden under a huge amount of social justice warrior manifesto ranting on the author, telling you this is wrong, here's why it's wrong, very religious preaching. It's the number one reason people don't finish the series. One of the things the author is extremely against is men and women sleeping in the same room.
But I can't very well tie her up and teleport her away, can I?
So he makes sure every villain does this. The villains, the thing that makes them a villain, is the fact that men and women sleep in the same bed. Ciri is not classified as a villain. Ciri, who is a rapist, a serial rapist, a murderer, a child abuser, has abortions. I mean, she does all these things, and she's considered a hero. She drinks, she smokes, she uses drugs. None of those things make her a villain. Normally, those are things that would make somebody a villain. In the Witcher franchise, the thing that makes you a villain is a man allowing a woman to sleep in bed with him. And like I said, I saw that they did this in the game. And I didn't think much about it when I first saw it until I read the novels. And it is pounded into your head so damn bad. Hundreds of scenes where this is wrong, look at this guy is a piece of shit because he has got a woman in his bed. Over and over and over and over again. And then you get to meet Avallac'h, which is, you don't meet Avallac'h until about 4,000 pages into the series. He shows up right at the end. He shows up just before the series ends. He's right at the end of the series, and that's the only time you're going to see him. When you see him, we're then told, yeah, well, he doesn't even have a bed. He sleeps on a pile of furs on the floor over here, and look, he's got all these women who just pile on top of him. That makes him evil.
No, it means that I was young and drunk.
The word
and it happened.
Avallac'h
At least it's not terribly visible.
was branded on him because, oh look, he sleeps on a pile of furs in the back of a cave with a pile of women on top of him, like a fox in a fox den. The word Avallac'h means fox. And for some reason, Americans look at... I've seen people, when they play this game and they encounter Avallac'h, and somebody in their chat will say, Avallac'h means fox, you know. And they're like, oh, he must be sexy. And I'm like, what? Americans sexualize everything. Well, apparently in American culture, if you call somebody a fox, it means they're sexy. That's not what it means in European culture. In European culture, to call somebody a fox means you're saying they're evil. It's a bad thing. Foxes are predatory animals that kill livestock for fun. Most animals in the animal kingdom, they kill when they're hungry. Foxes don't. They're one of the few. There aren't many animals. A fox will kill for the fun of killing. Foxes will hunt things and rip them apart and leave. Just because it is fun to kill something, rip its head off, throw its insides all over the place, and then leave. Foxes are seen in European history for thousands of years as the most evil animal because they kill for sport. Traditionally in European culture, calling somebody a fox is the lowest thing you could think of to call them. which is why you see him called Avallac'h, which is the word that means fox in Welsh. It's a Welsh word that means fox.
Look at those cliffs. Remind
The
me.
author specifically named him Avallac'h to tell you, yet this is the most evil character ever. Because that's what the word Avallac'h means. But then it points out, yeah, we call him this because, hey, guess what? He lets his wife sleep in his bed with him at night.
What of it?
So I looked up, because this is so bizarre. I'm just like, really? A man lets his wife sleep in bed with him at night and that makes him evil? What the hell? Well, I looked it up because now I want to know. Is there something about Polish culture where that's actually taboo? It is. I looked it up. There was a study done. Several of them. Was it Yale that did it? One of the big universities did a study. And it was pointing out different cultures' sleeping habits. This is current time, not medieval times. Sleeping habits around the world, different countries. Well, in America, most couples do sleep in the same bed. That's not uncommon in America. But that's not the case in Europe. And then when you get into Scandinavian cultures, Poland being one of them, it's seen as taboo for men and women to sleep in the same room, let alone the same bed, not even the same room. It said only 23% of couples in Poland sleep in the same room. And I was like, wow, that's really low. But I didn't realize that. I know nothing about Polish cultures.
Exquisite irony, but what did I do to deserve it? Have I given you cause
And I
to doubt
wouldn't
my
have known that if I hadn't questioned, the author emphasizes it so much with so many characters, and then he really pounds it in on Avallac'h. And I was like, there's got to be a reason why, or what type of a culture did this author grow up in that it's very clear that the author sees this as one of the most evil things you could do. That's why he has this being a thing over and over again in the novels. And yeah, he comes from a culture where that is seen as a bad thing. I come from a culture where that's just normal. Where husbands and wives sleep in the same bed. That's normal. I have a hard time imagining that there was cultures that don't do that. But that's what we're given. That's the evidence we're given in the novels that tells us, hey, yeah, Avallac'h's evil. Look, he lets his wife sleep in bed with him. How does that make a man evil? Why does that make a man evil? I don't get it. I still don't get it. I can't understand it at all. I just completely cannot wrap my mind around the concept that that is the evidence that makes him evil. The other elves saw him as barbaric and savage. He was seen as wild and uncultured and uncivilized. Which is odd, because you see him in the game, and you would get the impression he's somebody who is totally the opposite of barbaric and savage, but he was pretty wild in the novels. He didn't live in a house, he lived in a cave. He lived in a cave that had piles of feces at any point of its readily available to just throw at anybody. Also, that was a thing. And it wasn't like he had to go look for it. No, he's just, no, look, it's just not throwing it at you. It's everywhere here. I can throw it at you.
I ask as a courtesy.
He gets called out
A
for
concept
the
you
fact
clearly
that, you know
forgot
what,
when
you
you
haven't
left
taken a
Brighton
bath in
3.
years. You kind of need, you need to take a bath before you go talk to the king. He rides his horse right past Aridin while Aridin's scolding him. You know what? Take a bath. You can't walk. You haven't bathed in years. You can't go in and talk to the king like this. Nope. Not gonna listen to you. Rides right on past, rides his horse into the throne room in the palace. And it was raining and muddy. Gets off the horse. It says he's got mud dripping off him and the horse because he's been riding out in the rain. Ciri's the one narrating this. Aridin is standing there scolding Avallac'h for being filthy. And Ciri's pointing out that this place is immaculate. It is spotless. There are so many servants it must take to clean this place. The king's sitting here on his throne. And all the servants are like shocked. Ciri's describing this like they're horrified of the fact that, oh my God, Avallac'h's here. Oh my God, he's got mud dripping off of him. Oh my God, he's ruining the floor. And Avallac'h just walks up to the king, and according to Ciri, takes off his gloves and starts slapping him on his hands to get the mud off his hands, and mud is flying all over the king. That's Avallac'h in the novels. They described him as being wild and a hermit. It said he hadn't had contact with civilized society in 200 years. He and his 5 women that lived with him lived in a cave. It said the palace was in the city of Tirnalia, and Avallac'h lived in Avallac'h. Avallac'h was a 2-day horse ride through monster-infested forest. Then through a place that was just infested with unicorns, and unicorns are evil. Through this place that was infested with unicorns. And then there's a lake. And in the middle of the lake there's an island, and this island in the middle of the lake had this cave system in it. Avallac'h and his wives, the 5 women that were with him, lived in this cave system on this island, and they hadn't left it in 200 years. So when Avallac'h brings Ciri to see King Oberon, this is the first time the elves have seen Avallac'h in 200 years. And he's just like this wild, crazy mountain man. And yet in the game, he
This is Ted Dan.
acts like he's
Time
cultured and
here.
civilized, and
World destroyed by the White Frost.
completely the opposite of what we saw in the novels. There was nothing cultured and civilized about him at all. He threw feces at people. He's mad at you, he's going to start throwing feces at you. He's a fascinating character. I do wish he was in the novels
Which
or
does
the
not
game
mean it will
both
be easy to
more,
execute.
because I would like to have known more about him. He's one of those characters, he is so bizarre and so strange that it's like, what the fuck is wrong with him? How did he get like this? I want to analyze his brain and study everything there is about his childhood to find out how did he end up like this? Because he is absolutely so deep and bizarre.
At any rate, he can do it too.
That is a common trend you see with the characters I like. They are very extreme, eccentric. They generally usually are hermits. I think we're going the wrong way. Are we going the wrong way? I don't know. I see loot, not loot, but flowers, so I'm gonna pick flowers. I like
Know
picking
him?
flowers in this
I
game.
reared him.
You keep saying that. You've said that a lot today. You're stuck in saying that. Was that thunder? Did I just see thunder? I mean lightning? Can we fly again? No. Wait. That's not fly. Was this one fly? No. Which one was fly? I don't remember. No, not that one. What's this one? Oh, it was Quack. Okay. I couldn't have had it. We're near where the wedding was, right? Is that where we are? Now that merchant with no head. Or were you just glitched out? That's a merchant anyways. Oh yeah, we are near where the wedding, because there is a merchant right there that goes back and forth. No, I'm trying to click on you. Oh yeah, let me click on you. There we go. I think because he was trying to sit down by the fire. Is that what was happening? He was in the middle of an action and we couldn't click on him because of it.
Wouldn't mind a look at your stock.
Avallac'h Geralt's voice again. Hey, we got stuff we can sell you. Okay. That's one of those. I forgot those glitched out. Oh, wild boar fur. We haven't had wild boar in a while. Sort items by price? No. Sort items by weight. That's it. We want to keep mutagens because we need them to upgrade with selling everything else. And I don't know why I'm keeping the harpy eggs. This isn't the save file we needed it with, but keep them anyways, just because we've been collecting harpy eggs in the other save file. You only paid 8 for those. Wait, gingerbread cookies aren't edible anymore. Okay, does either I didn't put that mod back on, which is possible, or we have a mod crash. Oh, we got alcohol. No, don't drink that. He claims he doesn't drink that. He seems to drink vodka though. Didn't we? That's ratatouille. Didn't we? Yes, we did. I knew we picked up mutton stew back there. I remember seeing it. Okay. And we don't have our horse with us, so we left our horse on the other side of the world. Okay, call our horse. We have to spawn our horse in. I avoid calling the horse. We generally walk back to the horse, but we left our horse miles and miles back. Are we at Martin Fuhr's farm? Oh, we went all ways. Okay, no, we're good. We're nowhere near where we want to be, but that's fine. Okay. No, no. Does that say we haven't read clothes? Do we have stuff we haven't read? And okay, we're gonna just move all of the food that's movable and some food we can't move. Oh, we didn't sell the cheese? Okay, we're gonna go back and sell the cheese, but make sure we didn't put any in our inventory. That's right, we weren't selling the cheese for a while because I was thinking they make vegan cheese and it could be vegan cheese. But then I started thinking, wait, no, in 1200s they didn't have vegan cheese. The cheese was made with rennet in the 1200s, so Avallac'h wouldn't have eaten it. It's one of those things where I know it doesn't matter in terms of gameplay or anything, and people complain about it. It's like, you don't need to do this. I don't need to do it. It just bothers me that this is a character who we were told he's vegan. He's vegan, he's an animal rights activist, that's why he's vegan. He won't eat anything that was alive. So, it does all kinds of weird irk in my brain to have him carrying meat or alcohol because we were told he didn't eat or drink those things. Okay. Yeah, it was. You were sitting down. Okay, he is sitting down. We have to get, okay. We have to get all these things. There. Can I click on you again? We have more stuff to sell.
Greetings.
We didn't sell you everything because I overlooked the cheese.
Overlooking your stock.
We only just recently started selling cheese, like a couple of weeks ago. So I keep forgetting to do it. But I know most people would think that's a long time ago. I don't know. People have a strange sense of time. What is a long time ago and what is recent?
Farewell.
Okay. We could go kill cows. Can we gallop? Yeah, okay, wait. Which way are the cows? Wait a minute. I've turned myself around. Cows are that way? Means we want to go this way. Okay. Can we gallop yet? No? Gallop's still broken? Gallop is still broken. It won't... Yeah, see, when he leans forward, that's... Get him to do it again. He won't do it again. When he leans forward, right there, when he starts to lean forward and the horse starts galloping, but then it won't trigger gallop. It's probably a merge error from when I merged the script files. That's probably what's causing it. I'll have to go look. I know what file the gallop file is, because I have changed it. Okay, this is Brunwich. Okay, that's where the wedding was. So Upper Brunwich should be this road here, right? Am I thinking right? That windmill right ahead of us. Yes? Is that the one we want? Or are we heading back to Lower Brunwich? Yeah. No. We're heading back to Lower Brunwich again, right? Yes. Okay, that's Lower Brunwich. But I think then if we stay on this road, it eventually takes us to Upper Mill. Yes? There's Upper Mill. Okay, I see it. It's over there. Also, I see loot. Wait a minute. Loot. There's loot in this lake somewhere, and there's loot on the island in the lake. Does De Brunwich classify as an alchemist? He doesn't, right? He's a blacksmith. I need to move my leg. I am having an issue. I've been sitting in this position too long. The weighted blanket fell down. It weighs 25 pounds and there's no one here to help me pick it up. Well, it's down on the floor. How long is that? Almost 2 hours. We'll stop around a 3-hour point. At that point, I will get up and go to the bathroom and I'll have to pick it up then. Also, I questioned drowners in the game. Doesn't this look like a sea monster to you? Don't the drowners look like a sea monster? Or if you're more familiar with the Witcher franchise, doesn't it look like a Void Unite?
So why not?
Does that not look like a Void Unite to you? Witcher lore. A drowner is a cursed, it's not a monster, it's a cursed person. It's a type of a wraith. It's a water wraith. And a very specific series of events has to happen in order to cause a drowner to happen. In order for a drowner to come into existence. Number one, drowners are always female. They are always a female wraith. A drowner is always a girl who was a rape victim, who was murdered by her rapist by being drowned. So, it's a girl who was raped, and then her rapist drowned her. And because nobody found the body, she becomes a wraith, a drowner, a water wraith
Come.
that
we must
haunts the area where she was drowned. And she will come up and attack anybody who comes near there, killing them until somebody finds her body and recognizes, oh, she was murdered, and then avenge her murder by going after the guy who killed her. At which point she is then released and goes to the other world, or wherever it is that after death, that where wraiths are released to after. A drowner is not a sea monster. Okay. A drowner is not a sea monster. And they're considerably rare. They're considered one of the rarest beings in Witcher lore. And so then you see that's why they're called drowners. It's a person who was drowned in a specific manner, and their spirit, now as a wraith, is haunting that area. They're trapped there until somebody releases them from their curse. Come here. I can't reach you. Now I can reach you. What you doing? Wait a minute. Let me pause. Your stuff's over there. I put it over there for you. There you go. Because Rascal kept taking it over on the other side. What was we doing? Oh, yeah. Drowners. There's another creature in Witcher lore. The Voidyanoi. The Voidyanoi are water-dwelling merfolk. They're like humanoid fish. Very creature of the Black Lagoon looking from their description. Which is what the drowners look like in the game. The drowners in the game look
Avallac'h, be prepared
and
some
act
special
like
ornaments for me.
Voidyanoi. Also, Voidyanoi. Let's put him in as normal. Because Avallac'h is the Fisher King. And the Fisher King was the king of the Voidyanoi. Let's see. You see, these are sea monsters. These are... Are you going to glitch? Okay. Looks like you're all going to glitch. Interesting. Do I have a mod changing the drowners?
Hurry. I'd rather not loiter in the street any longer than necessary.
Okay, there you are. Did that spawn in two of you? It did spawn two of you. I tried to spawn in 2 of them, but I didn't see them. Avallac'h in the novels had a whole bunch of monsters with him. They just followed him around everywhere. So, okay. Didn't realize you could do that underwater. I wasn't intended to hit that button. I don't think we can change that while we're underwater, can we? No, it's gonna do it again. It's gonna do it again. Okay. Alright. That's better. Try this again. I want to swim out to the island there and get this loot on that island. Because we're on our way to a merchant. We're on our way to a merchant. We might as well get as much loot as we can to sell to him. You're still doing it. Why are you still doing it? Stop doing it. We have to turn blood enough. It won't let him loot. Alright.
What's the catch?
Okay. Let's take Blood Moon off for while we're doing this. We may not be able to have tomes on while we're swimming. The controls are different on the new mod than they were on the old mod. You know, since we keep accidentally hitting Siri when we're trying to cast spells, and now we're also doing this when we're trying to not cast spells, and it is casting spells underwater. Okay, it's gonna do it now. I might have to go into the mod and change the... Oh, a lot of loot. I might have to go into the mod and change the key bindings for it. It's pretty easy to do. To figure out what key bindings would we want. The E button does so many things. Loot, flower picking, hugging Siri, casting a lot of the spells for the mod, not in the vanilla game, riding the horse. What else does E button do? It does 8 things, doesn't it? I think it does. Can't remember. Seems like there was more things, but I can't remember what they were. Those drowners up there, did I see? On the island? We're gonna swim all the way around the island and get all the... Because I know there's more than one chest. Is there 2 or 3 chests here? I can't remember. There's one that's deeper down. And normally you would need killer whale to swim down to it. I made a mod so that he could just swim indefinitely, because that again was the thing Avallac'h could do in the novels. He's the Fisher King. He's the Fisher King. He's the king of the void, you know. The fish people. He lives underwater. He can breathe underwater. We're not given a reason for that. This is where it is. There was a Yeah, there it is. Wait a minute. Oh, there's something up here too first. The Witcher novels doesn't give us a reason, why he can just swim underwater. You would have to know the source material, which is obviously the Fisher King and the Lady of the Lake. From King Arthur. And it was written in 1130, 800 years ago. Very old book. But yeah, this section here is what I was just talking about. If you come down here in the vanilla game without any mods, you're going to need Killer Whale because this is deeper than Geralt can dive without Killer Whale. There is a treasure chest. Nothing that you find in this lake, none of the loot in this lake has a quest connected to it, so this is just all stuff you would only find if you were just exploring on your own. You would never find this loot here. I was thinking there's a third one, but I'm not sure. I can't remember. I know the two I got. The one that was in the boat and this one. Isn't there one? I know there's one, but I can't remember. Is it here? There's one where you find a skeleton and the treasure box is laying on top of them. And it looks like they fell out of a boat. Like they had a treasure chest and they were trying to hide it in the water. But they fell out of the boat and it landed on top of them and killed them. Is that this lake where we find that one? I know there's one like that somewhere. I just can't remember where it is. What lake it's in. There's a huge amount of loot under the water if you take to swimming around and just exploring all the lakes and rivers and the ocean in this game. There is so much loot, and it has no quest. It's just things that you find if you happen to decide, hey, I want to go swimming. Then you find all this stuff. Swimming is one of the most complained about things, too. You ever gonna stop swimming? Nope. I like swimming in this game. Swimming in this game is very relaxing. Completely opposite of swimming in Subnautica. Which you see me do a lot of as well. And I played Subnautica before Witcher 3, right? Didn't I? Because I played Subnautica before it came out. When did it come out? Because I had the alpha and the beta and all that stuff. When Subnautica was first out, the first version, it's not in the final release anymore. It's a thing they removed. But in the first version, when it was still, I can't remember if it was still an alpha or if it was either the alpha or the beta version. It was one or the other. It was before the finished release. Are we back to where we started? This boat's where we started, right? We swam all the way around. Yes, this is it. Okay. This is what I was just telling you about. Where it looks like he tried to throw it over the board of the boat. And instead he fell out of it and it crushed him. That's a horrible way to die. And get crushed like that and then drown. And also, you see in movies and stuff where they show somebody drowning and it's a few seconds. It's not. And you're gonna be 15-20 minutes struggling before you actually drown. It's not instant like what you see in the movies. The movies have a time element where, yeah, we gotta move things forward so they make it look faster, but in actuality, it's gonna take a while for you to drown. Did you just get stuck? You just got stuck. You did. What are you doing? He can't move. He's stuck. He's stuck. This is that thing that I was talking about the other day where sometimes when we're swimming, if he gets too close to a rock, all of a sudden he like sticks to the rock like a Velcro and he can't get away from it. It's doing it right now. This is that, game that has no bugs, because CD Projekt Red made it. Okay, let's try saving the game. And because we knew how much the game likes to crash, because, CD Projekt Red doesn't make bugs. Let's do this. Okay. Alright. Make a second save file. Click into resume. There we go. Get back into the save file. Let's try to load. Wow, you auto-saved right as I was saving. Okay. Yep, try to load the game.
The curse that held Uma proved hard to lift, but Yennefer and the Witchers managed to do it. The
This is
ugliest
the
man
one I was
alive
complaining
revealed
about.
himself to be
Complaining about.
not man, but elf, and an elven sage at that. Avallac'h, for this was his name.
This was his name.
Was the elven mage who had helped Ciri
Was
flee
not
the
his
hunt,
name.
then hidden her away on the island.
It was a hate slur that people called him for years. And he got sick of it. He got sick of being harassed, so he changed his name. And now you got no head. Nothing we can do about it underwater. Get him out of the water. Okay. Head back, head back. I thought I saw some drowners up here. Ooh, fatigue. Not nice. Ain't there like an altar up here that we can meditate at? I'm pretty sure there is. Yes, there is. We're gonna go meditate over here. This is another thing that annoys people. This is another thing that people have actually complained about. In this game, you can meditate anywhere you want to. Anywhere the hell you want to. So you can just, you're in the middle of battle. Oh, I'm dying. Okay, wait a minute. Let me stop and meditate. Which is ridiculous and stupid, and people do it. Let's put this full screen again. I played Witcher 1 before I played Witcher 3. Played Witcher 1 a lot before I played Witcher 3. Witcher 1 used to be my favorite game. It was my favorite game for a long time.
Anyone home?
So, if you've ever played Witcher 1, you can only meditate in specific places, and there was a reason for it. It's called Jewish. If you don't know, most of the characters, including Geralt, Ciri, and Avallac'h, in the novels are Jewish. So, they go by Jewish tradition. And it's a specific type of Judaism that they practice. It's not Orthodox Judaism. It's different. Ciri's clothes are gone again, because who the hell knows why. They practice Kabbalism, which is a very specific type of Judaism. It's a It's like where you have Gnostic Christians are different from regular, just Christian Christians. Regular is the wrong word to use, but I don't know what else to use. What most people think of when they think Christianity. You know, there's standard, all-encompassing Christian where you have Catholics versus Protestants and Baptists and all that stuff. And then you have other religions that are Christian, but most people who are Christian don't classify them as Christian. Like, the Mormon Church is a Christian religion, but most Christians say it isn't. The Voodoo religion is a Christian religion.
Like a bundle. I will not sit and twiddle my thumbs. I am sick
Seems
of
having
waiting,
to
sick of hiding.
The Voodoo religion is a Christian religion, but most Christians are going to tell you it's not. The Gnostic Christians are a Christian religion, and most people are going to tell you they're not. Most people are going to say that those three are pagan because they all practice things that would be considered witchcraft. The Kabbalist type of Judaism is that same way, where you have different types of... Most people think of the Jewish religion and they think all one religion, and it's actually not. It's just like Christians have lots of religions under the Christian theology. The Jewish theology has lots of religions inside of it. Most people aren't very familiar with the Jewish religion, so they don't know that. Kabbalism is one of those. In the Witcher novels, Avallac'h is a Kabbalist Jewish. He's also a Hassanic Jew. So he is a Kabbalist Hassanic Jew.
He hasn't ever had a problem changing his mind.
They do very specific things. And meditation is one of them. And this is something that Geralt in the novels also, which is why you see meditation. I mean, there is a specific reason for the meditation. In Witcher 1, they made it accurate, and they didn't in Witcher 3. You have to, it's very similar, because not a lot of people, there are only 14 million Jews on the planet. It's actually one of the smallest religions, 14 million total. All the different types. There are 5 major types of Jewish religions, and then there's a few dozen smaller types of Jewish religions, which Kabbalism is one of them. And all together, there's only 14 million in the entire planet. So there's not many Jewish people at all. It's a very extreme minority. That's another thing. I'll point that out while I'm talking about it. You see this stuff going on with Black Lives Matters for the past several months. It's kind of calmed down a little bit, but it was pretty crazy for a while, where the riots were really bad in some places. A lot of people were quoting some statistics incorrectly. They were saying stuff like 12% of America is black. That's not accurate. 12% of America is not white. That's different than 12% of America is black. But they were also pointing out stuff like huge amounts of racism, harassment.
She that before you hurt yourself.
If you were to go and look up actual police reports, 68% of all hate crimes in America, 68%. That's more than half, almost 3/4. 75% would be 3/4. It's just a little bit
For example,
less than
one
3/4
such passage will open
of
soon
all
near where
hate
we are,
crimes
fortuitously enough.
in America
Between this noble edifice
are
and the
targeted at Jewish people. not black. Only 14% of all hate crimes in America are targeted at black people. 68% of all hate crimes in America are targeted at a group that has only 14 million people worldwide. Also, when they talk about black slavery in America, another statistic they point out wrong. The number one race in America with 57 million slaves was Chinese. Number two, with 28 million slaves, was Irish, people with white skin.
Silence.
Three, with only 7 million slaves, was black. There were relatively few black slaves in America during the Civil War times. They were mostly Chinese or Irish. Again, people don't know their history, and they're quoting it wrong. Anyways, back to what we were saying.
Geralt, please.
What more people would be familiar with is Muslim tradition. Now, if you don't know, the Muslim religion broke off of Judaism, so it is nearly identical to the Jewish religion. Muslim tradition and Jewish tradition are almost identical. That is why a lot of people get beaten up
Ever
and
seen such canyons
accused of
in-
being Muslim, and then people find out, oh wait, they're Jewish? But they're wearing a burqa. Yeah. The burqa actually comes from the Jewish religion. The Muslims adopted it. The hijab comes from the Jewish religion. The Muslims adopted it. A lot of people don't realize that. A lot of times if you meet someone and you look at her and you think, oh, that's a Muslim, she could be Jewish. Because the Jewish religion dresses the same way the Muslim religion dresses. And a lot of people forget that. One of the things people know about the Muslim religion is the fact that
Geralt,
5 times a day
so unfortunate.
they meditate.
I'd hoped you wouldn't have to witness this.
They take out their prayer beads. They face Mecca and they pray. They'll lay down a prayer rug, face Mecca, and pray. And people think of that as a Muslim tradition, and they don't realize it was adopted by the Muslims from the Jewish religion. Jewish people, 5 times a day, take out a prayer rug, put it on the ground, face Jerusalem, and pray. No matter where they are, they always face Jerusalem. And it's called meditation. And in Witcher 1, meditation in Witcher 1, because Geralt is Jewish. He was Jewish in the novels, he's Jewish in the game. Because Geralt is Jewish, you had to find another Jewish character. You couldn't go to a Gentile's house. You had to go to a Jewish character. There weren't many of them. You had to find them. Kalkstein was one of them. When I played the game, Kalkstein was the one I went to usually. You had to find a Jewish character. Get permission to meditate in their house. Lay down a prayer rug, face Jerusalem, and pray. And this was something you had to do multiple times a day in Witcher 1. A lot of people didn't like that.
You? No.
People who were
Me?
Jewish knew what was going on when you played this game and you saw this happening, but most people are not familiar with the Jewish religion. Most people didn't understand what was going on when you play in Witcher 1 and all of a sudden Geralt has to stop and meditate and he has to find a specific house and he has to lay down his prayer mat. He has to face a certain way. They didn't understand that. And so when I'm playing this game, they changed it. They removed the very rigid you must do it this way aspect of meditation in Witcher 3. They didn't keep Witcher 1 meditation the way it was, because in Witcher 1 it was real world Judaism, and this is what you do. In Witcher 3, because a lot of people were complaining that there was too much Jewish stuff in Witcher 1, they kept a lot of the aspects but tried to make it more all-encompassing and less Jewish, resulting in meditation is quite different in Witcher 3 than it was in Witcher 1. Now, I played Witcher 1 about 10 times before Witcher 3 ever came out. So by the time we played Witcher 3, I was used to this fact, and also I'm not Jewish, but I grew up in a Jewish community. There are 2 synagogues right here, and there's a temple, the temple's like 14 miles away. There's this Jewish synagogue right around the corner, and if you go down the end of my driveway, and you go out just a little bit, Walnut Street, you go to the end of Walnut Street, there's another Jewish synagogue right there. That's the Hasidic Jews, who are really, really strict. And then the less strict Jewish synagogue over there, and then Temple Bethel is not far away. Most people in this area are Jewish, and not only are they Jewish, most of them are refugees. They're concentration camp survivors. Almost everybody in this area who is between 70 to 90 years old survived a Nazi concentration camp. A lot of them from France. In 1953, a boatload of concentration camp survivors, refugees, were brought here, and they literally built both Old Orchard Beach and Biddeford. They built the towns. These towns did not exist before that. They were there, but they were like little tiny nothing as they built these towns, and so everything around here is Jewish. That's why you see me eating food, and people will ask, "What are you eating?" And it's like, "Oh, well, they're like, I never heard of that. It's a traditional Jewish food." And they'll be like, "Oh, are you Jewish?" And I'm like, "No, I grew up in a Jewish community, so I'm very familiar with their culture and their religion." And then when I read the novels, I found out Avallac'h's Jewish.
For a walk. Or is that not allowed either?
When we first started playing the Avallac'h playthrough, I hadn't read a lot of the novels yet. And when the first time I read the novels, I hadn't analyzed it in the depth that I have now. But we need to meditate. Because he's gonna die while I'm talking if I don't. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He needs 8 hours. He probably could have used 9 hours, but I think 8 hours will do it. Okay, 8 hours did it. Now you need a drink. When I started playing the Avallac'h playthrough, I was still playing, not using much meditation stuff. We had gotten away from it more.
True, but she also needs training. She must learn to control her abilities.
That was the wrong button. Do it again. I pushed the wrong button. I was trying to give you a drink. Because I recognized what Geralt was doing in Witcher 1 as, this is a really Jewish thing, and when they talk about the Tree of Life and the Sephiroth, this is the Jewish stuff. They have golems, that's a Jewish thing. All this stuff that they were doing, it was all extremely Jewish stuff. You pay attention, a lot of characters are wearing tez. And if you're not Jewish, you don't recognize it. Avallac'h probably should be wearing one. He's not. He was very religious enough, so he probably would wear one. He is wearing peyote. He's got the locks on his hair there, those are called piari, those two braids. That again is a Jewish thing. There's a box around here somewhere, isn't there? Or am I on the wrong island? I thought I might be on the wrong island. There's another island over there, right? There's two islands here. It might be on that one. Can you climb up? You can climb up.
I didn't mention many things. Fortunately, they're no longer important.
Because we did loot the body, and the bag next to the body, or the book, or something. There was something next to the body we looted. And I'm not seeing anything else. So it's probably on the other island. I thought there was also a box. And there are two islands here, so it's probably the other island. Anyways, when I played Witcher 1, I recognized this as all this stuff as, oh, I know this. This is stuff that all these Jewish families in this area, they do this. I recognized what it was. And so when I started playing Witcher 3, and then they changed it to be less Jewish, there was a huge complaint. There was actually people with petitions and protests, and a lot of people didn't like Witcher 1 because it was too blatantly Jewish. That was the complaint a lot of people had with it. And so they tried to make Witcher 3 less Jewish and more
Avallac'h. He told me of those who chose
friendly towards
knowledge itself can tip the scales.
everyone of every religion type of thing, I guess is how you would call it. More politically correct, I guess. I don't know. Less Jewish, anyways, was the goal. And so they changed how meditation worked, and I didn't like that. And at the time I hadn't read the novels, so at the time I didn't realize how extremely Jewish the novels are. The Elvish and Gnomish languages are Hebrew with slight changes. Skeleton? What are we picking up? It says loot, but I don't see what we're looting. A Naginata? We can always use Naginata. I like those. Is there actually anything there? Is it whatever is supposed to be there glitched out and it's not showing up? I think there's supposed to be a box there and it's just invisible. We just looted something that is invisible. Is this a box? What's this? No, that's just a rock.
Appearances can be deceiving.
Anyways, I was in the habit of continuing to have Geralt meditate the way when we played Witcher 3, the way he did in Witcher 1, where you don't just meditate anywhere. You did find somebody who was accepting of your religious beliefs and you meditated with where they were, and like they did in Witcher 1. But you didn't see me doing it as much because it wasn't.
It's not.
Geralt is not somebody who is extremely religious. He's more somebody who is like almost an atheist, but he practices religious things just in case to be on the good side of whatever might be out there type of person. But then when we started doing the Avallac'h playthrough, and I had read the novels, and I realized Avallac'h is really religious in the novels. That's a big thing for him. And how they designed him in the
He
game,
hates me so deeply.
you can't
Why
see
did he
it the
tell
way
me to my
he's
face?
dressed right now, but if you look on his armor, there are slash marks that are then embroidered. It's right on the chest. The slash marks, that is an actual thing that Jewish priests do. They do that. They slash their clothes and then they make it, it's a very specific design. And it actually comes from the book of Leviticus in the Bible, where it tells you how to do it. It tells you to slash your clothes like this in this specific design in this specific area and then embroider it this specific way. And they have to do it on specific days with moonlight and stuff. It's a really detailed, very ritualistic ritual that they do to their clothes. And they actually designed Avallac'h to have those marks on his clothes. You wouldn't see that on a character unless they were extremely into their religion. And again, I see men in this area who have done that to their
I'll go
clothes
see
because
where our dearest sage is.
this is an extremely Jewish area that I live in. Probably 80% of the people in this county are Jewish. It's the biggest religion in this area. I said, I don't know a lot of stuff about their religion, but I know a lot of stuff about their actual
Exquisite irony, but
culture,
what did
their
I do to
lifestyle. At least
Have I given
the
you
ones
cause to doubt
local
my
here.
intentions?
So I recognize these things when you see it. And if you're familiar with Jewish culture, it's immediately identifiable as soon as you look at Avallac'h. This 3D model, this is a very Jewish character. You can tell that just from how he's dressed and how he's done his hair. And then when you read the novels, he's very obsessed with religion. That's a big thing that you see. To the point where you also see
One
it
such passage
how he eats.
soon near where we are,
I mean,
fortuitous
he's somebody who is so into
Between
religion
this
that
noble
he
edifice
eats
and the
specific
butcher's yard.
foods, and specific foods he can't eat and he won't eat. So when it came to meditating in the game, while I wasn't sticking to it as much with Geralt in the Geralt playthroughs, I did with Avallac'h because he would. He's not somebody that goes against his religion.
Yes, Carol?
That was made very clear both from what we see of him in the novels and the game. I said it's people see me play the game very, very differently than the way the average person plays this game. And a lot of people complain about it, and they get so upset and they don't step back and stop and realize multiple things here. One, I have played this game enough so that I really don't need to play the story part of the game anymore. I know the story inside out in this game. I've gotten all the quests. There's only, what, like 3 quest endings left that we haven't gotten? Which we will get in this, well, not this one. This is the 3rd Avallac'h playthrough. The 2nd Avallac'h playthrough, we will get those endings.
This is Ted Dara, the time of the end. The world destroyed by the White Frost.
Where are we? That's Lower Brunwich, right? We want upper? I don't know which one's which. We got so turned around down there swimming. But also, I like to roleplay characters that you gotta remember, I've been playing Dungeons and Dragons since 1978.
Supposed to?
You want that way, right? I don't know. I gotta go this way because I see the castle ruins up there. We're gonna aim at that. Then continue on what we're doing. I keep getting sidetracked. I don't like playing a character out of character. I have OCD, and it's not like it's obvious I have OCD, you can see that. But you see people who are like, they'll say, I must be OCD, look, I do all these things, I have OCD. And it's clear they don't know what OCD is. They do not know. They don't, if you ask them, they don't even know what it stands for. Obsessive compulsive disorder. Obsessive, you hone in on something and become extremely obsessed with it on insane levels, like how obsessed I am with Avallac'h. Compulsive, driven by compulsions, unable to break free of those compulsions, like role-playing a character on the extremes that, even though it doesn't matter in the game, we don't let him have contact with meat because he's vegan. Now, I have an actual medical diagnosis of obsessive compulsive
place where last we were together.
And it is extreme. I am well aware that it is very extreme. It disrupts my life a lot. There's a big issue with stuff which you've seen in my vlogs where I go, when we go to the Blueberry Plains especially. Reclaim Blueberry Plains at Goose Fair Brook in the Ross Forest of Old Orchard Beach, Maine. It's a local preserve, and you see me walk my dog there frequently. It's a great place I go to walk my dog. If you've ever watched my dog walking vlogs, when we get to the Reclaimed Plains and we're in a field, not too unsimilar to the field in Skellige that you see in the game, but there's a big field and there's flowers, thousands of flowers. There's just acre after acre after acre of this massive blueberry field with lots of flowers. And I generally take 3 cameras with me when we go, because I know what I'm like. I know what's going to happen when we get there. So I take 3 cameras with me, 12 battery packs for each camera, and 3 memory cards for each camera. Because once we get into a flower field, I start picking flowers. And if it's just me and my dog, and there's nobody there to be like,
No
hey,
creatures.
you need to break out of this. Can you stop picking flowers. If there's nobody there, I lose track of time. We could go there 4 or 5 in the morning. I'll be there until midnight, still picking flowers, and literally all day and into the night, and I won't stop. And it's called pundin. There's an actual word for it. And I said, pundin is a severe issue for me. It's why when you see me get to this game and we start picking flowers, and people don't realize picking flowers in this game it's not just a thing in this game. And if you've ever seen me play Don't Starve, you know how many hours we can spend picking flowers in a game. Way more than we do in this game. Do we have iron? Neat iron.
Do you believe humanoids have a monopoly on destroying worlds?
If you guys are all dead, you're not all dead. Are you all dead yet? No, I see at least 2 more. 3, 4 more.
Faster, for fuck's sake! Eternal
Whoa. Was that from up somewhere? He just gave me an arrow and I did not see it aim at him. So you guys killed them all? That's also why we have travel companions, so they can just kill things while you know. Oh, this is that place where they were eating the dogs. I remember that. There's like all these dead dogs laying around and chopped up on the table. I don't like that. But yeah, picking flowers for hours on end, that is something I do in real life. And you've seen that with the dog walking vlogs where I get stuck in that. So I said, these people who joke about OCD, and they clearly don't know what it is, because they're like, oh, I gotta straighten, your button's not straight on your coat. It annoys me. And I'm like, that's a stereotype about OCD. That's not actual OCD. OCD, actual obsessive compulsive disorder, is extremely disruptive of your everyday life to the point where you forget to eat or sleep. You require adult supervision. Even if you're an adult yourself, you require somebody to stop and check in on you to make sure, did you stop punding long enough to eat today? When was the last time you slept this week? Have you gone 4 or 5 days between sleeping? Have you stopped punding long enough to sleep? Longest I've ever gone without sleeping was 52 hours? No, it was longer than that. It was 5 days. I lose track of time because that's a problem. But then you see people complain because I'm playing the game this way. It's like, yeah, you have no clue. Really don't. Playing a character out of character, it's just like you took a knife and started stabbing me in the head over and over and over again, and I can't deal with it at all. So, when you understand what OCD is actually like, and the fact that that is a major contributing factor in why I play the game like I do, then you also understand why I get sick of people and their constant complaints. It unlocked this place, so we hadn't been in this area yet with this save file. Does that mean we haven't yet unlocked the room right in this save file? Is that possible? I don't know. I didn't think of that when I was like, let's go to the room right. You know, he's probably got those books, but if we haven't unlocked him yet, he's not a merchant until after we do his quest. We would have to do his quest. I didn't think of that. I keep thinking we're in the other playthrough. And we do have them unlocked in the other playthrough, and I just picked this save file at random. I went looking for a save file that had Cameron unlocked, because we were going to explore around Cameron. We could have solved the problem by just, once I realized it was a Regis save file, the Regis playthrough, we could have just gone back and like gotten one from the Gale's playthrough, or Geralt playthrough, or something, and just fix the problem. We wouldn't have to go through all this that we're doing now. But, you know, I don't mind replaying stuff in this game, obviously. I keep redoing it over and over again, so. But there's a possibility we may have to do the Runewright quest in order to get those books we wanted to look for. I can't remember, does the Runewright have it? I know with the merchant, and he has a name, and I can't remember his name. Does he tells you his name when he introduces himself to you, right? But then after that point, it never says his name. Doesn't it just say merchant? Is there loot up there? I can't see up there. We're gonna have to climb up and find out. Nope, no loot up here.
Calm down.
Just
Avallac'h knows
you.
him better. We'll hear him out when he returns.
Oh, there's a merchant up there, though. That is an alchemist. We could go up there. Or he's an herbalist, right? He's not an alchemist? Is he an herbalist or an alchemist? If we haven't done the Runewright yet, though, we might not have done him either, and that's also a quest. We may have to do some quests in this area. This stuff is unlocking as we get to it. It looks like we've not done this area yet with the save file. So much loot here. There's more loot in the building as well. Not building, that's a marquee, right? Ain't that a marquee? Is that what it's called? That tent? Isn't that a marquee tent? I remember the first time I heard the word marquee used in reference to a tent. Because a marquee is a type of a ruler. It's like the Marquis of Carabas. That's where I know marquee from. I know the Marquis of Carabas, which comes from Puss in Boots.
But at the same time, I felt I had to
And it's like a type of a lord. It's like they're not a king. I can't remember where it is on the scale. It's like above a count, but you know, not a prince or a king. One of those nobles, marquis. I had never heard the word marquis as anything else, other than a type of feudal ruler. I'd never heard it used as a type of tent before, until I read the Harry Potter novels. And there was a scene, and it had two words. This scene had two words in it. And I remember I was reading the Harry Potter, and I can't remember which volume it was in now. Was it the third volume, maybe? I can't remember. I didn't read the Harry Potter novels as they first came out. I think it was when the 5th one came out that I started reading them. Because I remember waiting for the last 2.
Diagram. Seemed to be a few
okay.
markings on it.
Yeah, that's...
someone who could explain them to me.
Mm-hmm. That was what I was just talking about. We need somebody to translate this diagram. That means we have not done that quest yet. Okay, so we got a quest to do. We need money. What, you know, we need like 30,000 total. It's 5,000, 10,000, and 15,000. Ain't that what he asks for? See, we need 30,000 total to do that quest. Oh, we need a lot of money to get that quest done. Okay. That was why I questioned it. I was like, wait, isn't this part of the Brunwich's quest? If we didn't unlock it, those guys came out and attacked us. Yep, it is. There was that thing I just picked up was part of the Brunwich quest. We haven't done the Brunwich quest yet. He's not yet in the game. The quest ain't that hard to do. It's, if you have the money, it's pretty easy to do. It's just getting the money can take a bit of time, but hey, we're loot crazy, so we already have 16,000 coins. Is that what I... Yeah, we already have 16,000 coins, so we're halfway there. I don't think there was any loot around the back. I'm gonna go around the back and check anyways, because I can't remember. There may be flowers or something. But anyways, I was reading the Harry Potter novels. These things clip into. My brothers were into Harry Potter. 2 of my brothers were extremely into Harry Potter a lot. And so they were reading them. And it was either the 5th novel or the 6th. No, how many novels are there? There's 7 novels, right? There's 7 novels and 8 movies.
Anyone home?
Alright. So it was when the 5th novel came out, because it was the last 2. I remember waiting for the last 2, because I wanted to finish reading them. But my brothers were reading it when it was, as it was coming out, so they were always waiting for it. I remember the first time I heard about Harry Potter, I think the 3rd book had just been released, and I wear a burnous a lot in the spring and fall. It's on the other side of the... Is it? Yeah, I think it's on the other side. Oh no, there it is. I see it. I can't reach it. Yeah. I wear a burnous a lot. If you don't know what a burnous is, it's like a cape. It's huge. It completely encircles your entire body like a huge cape, and it has this huge hood on it. It's like a classic medieval cape, but a really big one. It's made out of heavy velvet. It's huge. It's dark blue. And the first time I'd ever heard of Harry Potter, I'd never heard of it before. I was wearing this. It was something I wore every day. I wore it all the time. And I went to a store. It's a local bookstore, Bookland. And I knew something was going on. Normally I stick out like a sore thumb because of how I dress. I'm a cosplayer. I dress like a wizard all the time. Cosplay wizards. That's what I was doing. I'm what people classify as a life actor because I don't own any normal clothes. All of my clothes are what people would consider costumes. That's just how I dress every day. And lately, I dress like Avallac'h, so if you meet me in Walmart, I'm gonna look just like Avallac'h, because it annoys Ben, but it takes me 5 hours to put the Avallac'h cosplay on. And Ben will be like, I'm ready to go to the store. How much time do you need to get ready? It's like 5 hours. It takes me 5 hours to put on the Avallac'h cosplay. So Ben knows to tell me many, many hours ahead of time that he wants to go to the store. I won't go out in public not in cosplay because I also have agoraphobia, and it's really, really difficult to get me out of this room I'm in right now, let alone go outside. And that's a whole other thing. Longest I have ever gone without setting foot out of a bedroom was 15 years. And it's one of those things where I would like to be able to go outside, but I have massive phobias of people. And so it's really difficult for me to go outside. I discovered during the course of making the Lord Shishomaru cosplay, which is, I think, over the course of making the Lord Shishomaru cosplay, let's see, here's the Avallac'h
We will meet beneath drowned dead rock. Can you remember?
Over the course of making the Lord Shishomaru cosplay, I discovered I could go outside when I was dressed as Lord Shishomaru. I don't know why. There was some sort of a mental block there. Oh my god. I can go outside. The like invisible wall that wouldn't let me go out the door all of a sudden wasn't there, and I could go outside. It was weird, and I don't know how to explain it, but some sort of psychological thing clicked in my brain when I was dressed as Lord Shishomaru. I could go outside, and that's when you saw me. It was in 2006. That was when you saw me start dressing as wizards.
Alas, this awaits
all
us
the
all
time.
in differing stages of our existence.
I also have a Gargamel cosplay. That's, you actually see me wear that one more than any of the others. That's the one I wear most often. For some reason, if I was wearing a wizard cosplay, I could go outside. So I became obsessed with making a lot of wizard cosplays. I would find all kinds of wizards and just make cosplays of all these wizards. And all of a sudden, I was able to go outside. And so at the time, I hadn't heard of Harry Potter. But I'm cosplaying wizards, and I went to this little tiny bookstore that doesn't exist anymore. They closed down maybe about 10 years ago. I think they blamed it on Amazon. I don't know. They're gone anyway, so not here anymore. But it was this little small bookstore. And I dressed like this every time I went there. And I went to this bookstore all the time. I was there like every week. I buy a lot of books. So the people who work there recognize it. Yeah, this is how she dresses. This is her. This is what she does. But this particular day, I go in and there's this crowd at the bookstore, and I'm like, okay. There's like maybe 500 or 600 people at the bookstore. A bookstore that usually I'm the only person there. There's maybe 1 or 2 other customers at best.
But I won't allow it. Far too great a risk.
And they're all dressed up like wizards. It's obvious. These people are dressed up like wizards. They got their magic wands and their pointy hats and their capes. These people were dressed up like wizards. Several hundred of them. And I had no clue what was going on. I just, they're all doing their thing. They're all gathered around. I had no clue what was happening. They were waiting, it turned out, they were waiting for a delivery truck to show up with, I think it was the 3rd Harry Potter book at the time. it was this massive crowd massive for this area and for that store.
Appearances can be deceiving.
Waiting for a delivery truck to arrive so they could be the first people to get a hold of this book. And I walk through the crowd and go in, and I'm doing my regular weekly book shopping. And these people like, oh my god, you've seen my costumes. They're very detailed, very over the top. I have a degree in theatrical costume design. I went to college for it, so I'm very, very, very good. Plus, my mother was a seamstress. I made my first costume when I was 8 years old. I was sewing for most of my life. My mother was a professional seamstress. She made pageant dresses for little toddlers who wore pageant dresses. As back in the 1970s when she was doing that. She stopped doing it, I think, in 83. She hadn't done it in a long time. But the late 60s, early 70s, into the 80s is when she was doing it. And so sewing these things, I mean, you can see this is all hand embroidered.
3, 2,
And it's the
1.
exact same design.
Very good. On time.
I took his texture file out of the game and I had it blown up to life size. And then I traced with chalk the design onto this fabric. So it's the exact same design, and then I hand embroidered all this. It took me 4 months to embroider that.
Get out, please.
Huge amounts of work go into my costumes, and people, when they see them, they call them like, oh my god, movie quality. That's what everybody describes it. They're like, movie quality costume, look at that, it looks like it belongs in a movie. So movie quality, I guess, is what you would call my costumes. But I was wearing my blue burnous at the time, which just that alone is this crazy cape. That doesn't actually go with any wizard costume. It's just wizards wear capes, so I made this big huge cape that I could wear over any of my wizard costumes in the winter. Keeps them protected from the rain and stuff when I go outside. So I had that on, and all these people they're just, oh my god, we love your costume, and they're all, and it's like, I'm not wearing a costume. What are you talking about? This is how I dress. And they were just, wow. But then they're like, so you're here for the Harry Potter thing? And I was like, no. What's Harry Potter? I never heard of it. What are you talking about? So people started explaining, oh, it's this thing. And I was like, huh. And I asked my brother about it, because he's, I knew if anybody that I knew anything about it, he would.
With
and he
pleasure,
did. He was a fan of it.
With pleasure.
And I didn't get into it at that point because the way people had described it, it didn't sound like something I would be interested in. And I didn't bother to look it up anymore. I was asking my brother, it's just, you know what this is? What are these people talking about? But then there was when the 5th book came out, my brother was planning to go get it. He wanted to get it first day, because he had gotten all of them first day. He was into that. Let's dress up and go get it first day. He had to work. He couldn't go do that, so he asked me to do it. And I was like, okay. So I went and I got this book, and I'm like, you know what? I tend to like a lot of the things he likes. So I bought one of each of all of them. I bought, the copy for him that he wanted, but then I bought the whole series that they had up to that point, and so I read them, and I read them all in 3 days. I went straight through. I just started the first one, and I went right through. And that was the first time I'd ever heard the word marquee as a tent. And I remember I got to that scene and it's talking about the marquee, and it's like, what the hell are they talking about? I couldn't figure out, what are they talking about? It's talking about the marquee. And finally I went, and you know what, I was like, I couldn't finish reading. I got stuck. And I ended up putting the book down. Which, at that point, it was like the second or third novel in the series. I can't remember which one it was. I just sat down at starting at the first one and read straight through, and I didn't stop. And till I got to the point with the marquee, and I was like, I have no clue what they're talking about.
We would gain nothing
So I
in the
went
short
and I
term,
looked up marquee.
and we
What is a
might not live
marquee?
to see the long term.
Because I knew a marquis as a nobleman of some sort, like a count type of thing. And then I was like, ah, it's a tent. It's a really big medieval tent. Like that. That's a marquee. This is a marquee. I remember Harry Potter is the first time I ever heard the word marquee. We haven't had a manual save in a long time. I would like to make a manual save. There we go. Also, we've gone over 3 hours.
I beg to differ. Emir is a pragmatist, Siri an idealist.
I want to go stop and sit in your tent. Oh, yes, you're in here. We've not done the quest. Yeah. Well, you're sitting here meditating. We're going to come meditate with you. Hey, look, you got your hookah. Well, you both have hookahs. Avallac'h smokes a hookah, too, so he can come sit here and smoke a hookah with you. That's what we'll do. Because we just went over 3 hours. It's 3 hours and 7 minutes. I'm actually going to stop here. And I'm hungry. What time is it? It is 3:49 a.m. Okay. I think I'm going to go cook and eat. And if I'm not too tired, come back and start another recording then. That's what I think. You know, tobacco is not what you smoke in a hookah. I was just saying, Avallac'h smokes a hookah. Opium is what you smoke with in a hookah. Okay. So I'm going to stop here so that I can upload this, because it's for uploading to YouTube, it's just easiest if I try to keep the videos at 3 hours. So 3 hours. We're at the 3 hour point. And that means by stopping here, we can just immediately start that quest. We have to go talk to the guy outside the tent first. And I think he's the one that's going to have the books. I don't think the Runewright has any of the books, but he might. I'm not sure. I don't remember. I could just look up the mod and find out in the mod description where are the books, but I'd rather just wander around the game, so we'll do the Runewright quest in the next episode. And we need to double the amount of money we're carrying. Not hard to do. I mean, it only took us, what, 4 episodes to make that much money? I can make that. We're probably going to spend the next episode doing a lot of looting and selling. pays the most? I think the one who pays the most for stuff is the little halfling in Novigrad right now, ain't he? I'm pretty sure we don't have Toussaint unlocked with this save file. Otherwise, we could go to sell everything at that one that pays a lot in Toussaint, but I don't think we do. There's no reason we couldn't do the Toussaint quest and get Toussaint unlocked. Again, we're not going to play through this entire save file. I just wanted to go to Camoran and do Camoran stuff. And when we get on with Camoran stuff, we're going back to the save file that we were already doing and continuing that playthrough. But I don't mind doing quests while we're here, so we may end up doing Toussaint quests as well. Just for the sake of, hey, let's do some quests. I don't know. If we do, just don't expect story to go to the end. We're not doing a playthrough that's going to the end with this save file. Because we're going back to the second Avallac'h playthrough. That one we're playing to the end. But we've been playing that playthrough since May 13, 2018. We have a long ways to go. It's probably going to be a few more years before we get to the end. And there in that image, this one, that is the... Let me move the mouse. There we go, mouse. Pointing with my finger and you can't see where my finger is. Mouse, right there. There's those slash marks that I was just talking about earlier. Right there. If you were not here when I was talking about him earlier, go back to earlier when I was talking about these slash marks on his clothes. You can see him in that picture there. You can't see him good on this picture, I don't think, can you? But if you look at several pictures on my profile on Twitch, not on YouTube, on Twitch, you can see them. Or if you go on my website and look at all the Avallac'h pages, several pictures where this is detailed enough so you can see it. I was wondering, what am I going to go cook? I don't know what I'm going to cook. I'm hungry, but I don't know what I want to eat. I'm probably going to cook macaroni and cheese. That's my default whenever I'm like, I don't know what to cook today. Hey, let's just cook macaroni and cheese. That's there. That's always my thing. It's like, I'll think about, do I want this? Do I want that? Do I want this other thing? Do I want that? I can't make up my mind. I can't decide what to eat. Let's just make macaroni and cheese. And I'm eating macaroni and cheese. Oh, like almost every day. So, I guess I'll see you guys in the next episode, which may be for me in a few hours. I don't know. We'll see. Are you gonna stop today? This has been acting up where I try to stop it and it stops and then starts and then stops and then starts. I don't know why. OBS has been acting up so much the last month or so.